Have you ever just popped your dinner plate into the microwave for a quick reheat, thinking nothing of it? It is so convenient. Isn't it a simple way to enjoy a delicious meal again, saving time and avoiding waste? But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless habit could actually be putting your health at serious risk? What if the very act of reheating certain foods is turning them into silent threats, potentially leading to upset stomachs, debilitating food poisoning, or even worse, complications for our bodies as we age? It is a truth many of us are not aware of. A hidden danger lurking in our own kitchens, especially as our systems become a little more sensitive over the years. We have learned so much about healthy eating, but this one aspect often slips under the radar. In this video, we are going to uncover 5 common foods that you absolutely must stop reheating. We will explore why they become dangerous, what exactly happens when you warm them up for a second time, and practical, easy ways to enjoy your meals safely without compromise. This isn't about fear-mongering, but about empowering you with knowledge to protect your precious health and well-being. So, grab a cup of tea, settle in, and watch to the very end for something that will truly surprise you about how you manage your leftovers. Let's dive right into our first surprising culprit. A staple in many of our kitchens that often gets a second, or even third. Turn in the microwave cooked rice. Think about it. How many times have you cooked a big batch of rice for dinner, put the leftovers in a container, and then reheated it the next day for lunch or another meal? Most of us do it without a second thought. But here is the critical information you need to know. Uncooked rice can contain spores of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Now, these spores are incredibly resilient. They can survive the cooking process. So, even after you have cooked your rice thoroughly, those dormant spores might still be present. The real problem starts once the rice is cooked and left to cool slowly at room temperature. This warm, moist environment is absolutely perfect for those surviving spores to multiply and turn into bacteria. As they multiply, these bacteria can produce toxins. And here's the scary part. These toxins are heat resistant. This means that even if you reheat the rice to a piping hot temperature, those toxins will likely still be there, ready to cause trouble for your digestive system. Symptoms can range from vomiting and nausea to diarrhea. And for us, as we get a little older, these kinds of foodborne illnesses can be much more severe and lead to dehydration or other complications. So, what is the takeaway here? If you are cooking rice, whether it is for a delicious fried rice dish or a simple side for your curry, the key is to cool it down as quickly as possible. Ideally, within 1 hour of cooking, get that rice into the refrigerator. Spread it out on a plate to help it cool faster before you put it into a container. And once it is in the fridge, it should be eaten within 1 day. Beyond that, the risk significantly increases. It is often better to cook smaller portions of rice fresh or freeze individual portions immediately after cooking to thaw and reheat safely once. That way, you enjoy the convenience without the hidden danger. Now that we have shed light on the hidden dangers of reheating rice, a food we often think is perfectly safe to warm up, let's turn our attention to another very common item in our refrigerators, one that presents its own unique set of risks when reheated cooked potatoes. Just like rice, potatoes, in all their delicious forms, whether mashed, roasted, or baked, are prone to harboring unwelcome guests if not handled correctly after cooking. The primary concern with cooked potatoes, particularly baked potatoes that have been wrapped in foil and then left to cool at room temperature, is a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. This is the same bacteria responsible for botulism, a rare but extremely serious form of food poisoning. These bacteria produce spores that are naturally present in soil and dust, and they can contaminate potatoes. When a potato is baked and then wrapped tightly in foil, it creates an anaerobic environment, meaning an environment with very little oxygen. This is precisely the kind of low oxygen, warm condition that Clostridium botulinum spores love. If the potato then cools slowly at room temperature in that foil, these spores can germinate and produce a potent neurotoxin. The terrifying thing about this toxin is that it is incredibly powerful and can cause severe neurological symptoms, including vision problems, difficulty swallowing, muscle weakness, and, in severe cases, even paralysis and death. While thorough reheating might destroy the bacteria itself, it might not destroy the toxins that have already been produced. So, merely warming up that potato leftover might not make it safe. The key to enjoying your cooked potatoes without worry lies in how you handle them immediately after cooking. If you have baked potatoes, remove them from the foil as soon as they are done and let them cool down quickly, unwrapped, before refrigerating them. For mashed or roasted potatoes, cool them rapidly and store them promptly in a shallow, airtight container in the refrigerator. Do not leave them sitting out on the counter for hours. The general rule is to get cooked potatoes into the fridge within 2 hours of cooking, and ideally, consume them within 1 to 2 days. If you are making a potato salad, ensure all ingredients are fresh and keep it chilled. Think about how many of us have enjoyed a leftover baked potato with chili or a side of roasted spuds from the night before. This isn't to say you can never have leftover potatoes, but it is a strong reminder that the way we cool and store them is paramount. It is far safer to err on the side of caution. Consider making smaller batches if you do not plan to eat them all in one go, or if you do have leftovers. Focus on rapid cooling and quick consumption. This small shift in habit can protect you from a potentially devastating illness. Now that we have covered the hidden risks of reheating rice and potatoes, 2 common carbohydrates in our diet, let's move on to another very popular food item, especially for those of us who enjoy a good protein source, but which also carries its own unique set of dangers when not reheated correctly. We've just uncovered the surprising truths about reheating rice and potatoes, but our journey into kitchen safety isn't over yet. Let's talk about chicken. Chicken is a fantastic source of lean protein, versatile and delicious, whether roasted, grilled, or stewed. It's often a go-to for meal prep, with many of us cooking a whole chicken or a batch of chicken breasts to enjoy over a few days. The problem with reheating chicken, especially if it's already been cooked once, lies in 2 main areas: protein denaturation and the risk of bacterial growth. When chicken is cooked, its protein structure changes. When you reheat it, especially if it's not done evenly or thoroughly, these proteins can further break down and become harder for your body to digest. This can lead to an upset stomach, bloating, or general digestive discomfort, which for us, as our digestive systems become a bit more sensitive, can be particularly unpleasant. More critically, chicken is notorious for being a high-risk food for bacteria like Salmonella. These bacteria are often present on raw chicken and are usually killed during the initial cooking process if the chicken reaches a safe internal temperature. However, if the cooked chicken is then left to cool slowly at room temperature, or if it is reheated improperly, any surviving bacteria can quickly multiply to dangerous levels. The biggest mistake people make is reheating chicken just enough to make it warm, but not piping hot all the way through. Microwaves, in particular, can heat unevenly, leaving cold spots where bacteria can thrive. So, the golden rule for reheating chicken is to make sure it is steaming hot throughout. And that means an internal temperature of at least 74 degrees Celsius or 165 degrees Fahrenheit. It is also best to only reheat chicken once. If you have cooked chicken, cool it rapidly within an hour, store it in the refrigerator, and consume it within 1 to 2 days. If you plan to reheat it, cut it into smaller pieces to ensure more even heating. For larger pieces like a whole chicken breast, slicing it before reheating can make a big difference in safety. Never reheat chicken more than once, and if it smells off or looks strange, it is always safer to throw it out. Your digestive comfort and overall health are far more valuable than a leftover meal. Next up on our list of surprising foods to avoid reheating are certain leafy greens, like spinach, beetroot greens, and even celery when it's cooked into a soup or stew. Now, you might be thinking, but aren't greens supposed to be super healthy? And you'd be absolutely right. They are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and are cornerstones of a healthy diet. However, when it comes to reheating, their nutritional benefits can sometimes turn into a potential health risk due to the presence of nitrates. Many vegetables, especially those grown in the soil like spinach, beets, and celery, naturally contain nitrates. Nitrates themselves are generally harmless, but when these cooked vegetables are left to cool slowly at room temperature, or reheated multiple times, these nitrates can be converted into nitrites by bacteria. And the real concern arises when these nitrites can then, under certain conditions in your digestive system, form compounds called nitrosamines, which have been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. While the occasional reheating of greens isn't likely to cause immediate harm, for those of us in our golden years, with systems that might be a little more vulnerable, it's a risk worth understanding and avoiding where possible. The best approach for leafy greens is to eat them immediately after cooking. If you have a large batch of cooked spinach, for example, it's safer to portion it out and consume it fresh, rather than planning to reheat it multiple times over several days. If you do have leftovers, cool them rapidly and refrigerate them. And if you must reheat them, do it thoroughly and just once. Consider making smaller batches of cooked greens or adding them fresh to your meals whenever possible. This small adjustment can help reduce your exposure to potentially harmful compounds and keep your body feeling its best. Finally, let's talk about mushrooms. These earthy fungi are a wonderful addition to many dishes, from stir-fries to casseroles, and they're packed with unique flavors and nutrients. But when it comes to reheating, mushrooms are quite delicate. The proteins in mushrooms are complex and can break down quite easily after they have been cooked. When you reheat mushrooms, especially if they are not heated thoroughly, or if they are reheated multiple times, these broken down proteins can cause digestive upset. You might experience stomach aches, bloating, or general discomfort. For our more mature digestive systems, which can sometimes be a bit more sensitive to changes, this can be particularly unwelcome. The key with mushrooms, much like with leafy greens, is that they are best enjoyed fresh after cooking. If you are preparing a dish with mushrooms, try to cook only the amount you plan to eat in one sitting. If you absolutely have to reheat them, ensure they are thoroughly cooked through initially and then reheated to a very high temperature, very quickly, and only once. It's usually safer to avoid reheating dishes that are primarily mushroom-based or where mushrooms are a significant component. Instead, if you're making a stew or casserole, consider adding fresh mushrooms when you serve it, rather than cooking them in from the start and then reheating the entire dish. This small change can make a big difference in how your body processes and reacts to the food. It is about understanding the delicate nature of these foods and giving our bodies the best chance to digest them easily and safely. We have journeyed through some truly eye-opening information today, delving into the quiet dangers of reheating specific foods that are so common in our kitchens. We learned how rice, when left to cool slowly, can invite unwanted guests like bacteria spores, creating toxins that even reheating cannot conquer. We explored the similar lurking risks with cooked potatoes, particularly when sealed away without proper cooling, and the serious threat of botulism. Then there was chicken, that versatile protein, which demands careful reheating to avoid making us sick, reminding us that its delicate proteins prefer to be enjoyed fresh or reheated just once, thoroughly. And let us not forget the surprising truth about those healthy leafy greens, where the act of reheating can turn harmless nitrates into potentially harmful compounds. Finally, we touched on mushrooms, those earthy delights, whose unique proteins can become troublesome for our digestion if not handled with care after cooking. Now, I know this might feel like a lot to take in, perhaps even a bit daunting, as these are everyday habits for many of us. But please, do not feel overwhelmed. This is not about perfection. or about never enjoying leftovers again. It is about awareness, about making small, informed adjustments that can have a truly profound impact on your daily comfort and long-term health. Think of it not as a list of don'ts, but as a guide to do more safely. Remember, every little change you make, every conscious choice about what you eat and how you prepare it, is a powerful step towards safeguarding your vitality as you gracefully navigate through life. Your body is a temple, and giving it the best care, even in something as simple as how you reheat food, is an act of self-love and wisdom. By understanding these subtle science behind food safety, you are not just avoiding potential illness, you are actively optimizing your digestion, boosting your overall well-being, and ensuring that the delicious meals you prepare nourish you completely, without any hidden pitfalls. These are not drastic changes, but mindful shifts in how we approach our kitchen routines. It is about building habits that serve your health proactively, ensuring that your golden years are filled with comfort, energy, and freedom from preventable digestive issues. Imagine the peace of mind knowing that every bite you take is contributing positively to your health, rather than subtly undermining it. I would love to hear from you. Has any of this information surprised you? Are there foods you have been reheating that you will think twice about now? Or perhaps you have your own tips for managing leftovers safely. Share your thoughts, experiences, and questions in the comments below. Your insights are incredibly valuable, not just to me, but to our entire community here. As we learn and grow together, we are all on this journey of healthy aging, and supporting each other with practical knowledge makes all the difference. Your comments help others discover new ways to protect their health too, creating a ripple effect of well-being within our community. If you found this video helpful, if it offered you a new perspective or peace of mind, please consider giving it a thumbs up. A simple like tells me that this content resonates with you and encourages me to create more videos designed to empower and inform. And if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on future insights into living your best, healthiest life at every age. We are here to support you on your journey to vibrant well-being, bringing you practical, easy to understand information that genuinely makes a difference. You deserve to feel fantastic, to enjoy every meal, and to live each day with energy and confidence. By taking these thoughtful steps, you are not just avoiding risks, you are actively investing in a future filled with more health, more happiness, and more peace of mind. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, live your best life at every age. You have earned it.